Okay, what is going on? So, it seems that I did not code command resend. So when you are under control from the watch, rather when the stick is under control from the watch, if the watch isn't sending any commands, then and a new stick comes online, that new stick won't pick up any commands. All right, so let's do a little test here. Right, so let's imagine turn these guys on. Let's turn the watch on. Let's turn the watch on. There we go. All right. 354. Oh, this watch is probably still set to Central European time. Okay, watch. Boot up. Okay. All right. Come on. Sometimes. Oh, I see. There we go. A little sluggish after cold boot. All right, anyway, I'm going to need to quit and launch again. Everything is kind of slow. And what is going on? Can't find the stick. What is wrong with the Bluetooth on the phone? Or not on the phone, on the watch. Hmm. Come on. This watch is working hard for some reason. Bluetooth is on. Wi-Fi is connected. Oh, there we go. Okay. So, phone connected to the watch over Bluetooth. Maybe that means the Bluetooth stack is running. There we go. Okay. So, right, so let's say both of these guys are on, and I, set the color, right, warm this guy up. So no problem, right, they control together. But then if I turn this guy off, right, we have whatever, it's set to whatever color it is, and then I turn back on again, there isn't any periodic resend of the command. So any new sticks joining won't get the color of the existing sticks until someone manually hits the command. And what I need is for this stick to periodically retransmit the last signal it had, so long as it's not in a fade. So if it's in the middle of a fade, it's going to be then you have to worry about the timing or whatever, because the command for the fade is going to vary over time. So the stick should know when it is or is not in the middle of a fade, and if it's not, only if it's not in the middle of a fade should it do a retransmit. And that means that new sticks joining in the middle of the fade, they won't join the fade, right? Because in the current implementation, fades are sent as single commands. The stick doesn't constantly send the fade command, or doesn't constantly send color change commands. Rather, it sends a fade command at a single point. So let's take a look at the code here and see what we have got. Oh, hey, someone is watching on Facebook. Really? You should make that screen bigger. I'm not sure which screen you're talking about. Facebook. Oh, I see. I didn't switch to the right command. I didn't switch to the right scene. There we go. Really? You should make that screen bigger. I'm not sure which screen you're talking about. Oh no, echo. All right, stop that. Weird. All right. Interesting. Oh, there it is now. Okay, so I can see what the commenters write. You're not allowed to post through Facebook through APIs, so this command thing here, or rather this unified chat tool, can't post back to Facebook, but then I can see when people are talking. Okay, so that's a company. Okay, anyway. All right, full screen. Let's see. Always a challenge to come back to old code. And where did I put this? I think it's in mesh.h, right? So this is send command to mesh with the sequence number. Right. So what I want to do is the send command to mesh. Q send mesh Q. Oh, I did this asynchronously. Okay, what did I do? What did I do here? Okay, so there is a mesh tick. That's right. So there's a mesh tick. This gets called in a loop, and then right. So this then checks a queue to receive, right? Because the ESP32 is dual core. Okay, it's all coming back to me. The ESP32 is dual core. There's one core dedicated to Wi-Fi, one core which runs the Arduino emulation layer. When the receive callback triggers, I actually don't know which core this gets invoked on. And in theory, if this gets invoked on the Wi-Fi core, I'll have race conditions against a variety of these global variables. So what I want to make sure is that before I touch anything that really matters, right? These global variables don't matter. What matters is like touching the Bluetooth or touching the Wi-Fi layer again, that I always do my processing on the Arduino core. And so I enqueue this and then dequeue the command in mesh tick. Right, because mesh tick is not in the globals. In main, mesh tick is called in the loop. No, it's called an RFG loop task, right? So RFG loop task runs, mesh tick then runs, as fast as it can. Right. What the? Okay, so let's come back here. C++, yes. Arduino code is actually C++. It's C++ with a bunch of the initialization wrapped around the outside. But yes, when people say that they are programming in Arduino, what they really mean is C++. All right. All right, so then receive whatever, rebroadcast the command if we processed it. Right, processed in this case. Okay, what I mean by this comment is that meaning that if we reacted, and now we reacted to it, meaning we did an LED command, then I want to rebroadcast it. And what I need now is two things. I need to know whether I'm in the middle of a fade or not. So let's see how I implemented this. Because I only want to resend if I'm not in the middle of a fade. So do I keep track? Yes. Yes, there. Get current target. Get current target should tell me, if I remember correctly. Target color equals current target remaining fade ms. Right, because get the current target is updated based on remaining fade ms. And so if the fourth, if this is 0, where did I define target? Not in the globals. Where did I define that data structure? Where did I define target color? Not in LEDs. Okay, I define in globals. HSV and MS. And MS is the MS was get current target, remaining fade MS. Right, remaining fade MS equals the target MS minus elapsed fade MS. So this will be then, oh, never mind, right? No fade in progress, we're in the middle of the fade. If no fade is in progress, I set MS to 0. So that's how I know whether I'm in the fade or not. So back to the mesh tick. I want to resend every second or so. But only if I was the originator, not if I'm receiving so rough logic that I want is if I was the last stick to initiate a command that was not a repeater resend, right? And incrementing the sequence. Turn these guys off for now. Incrementing seek and triggering repeater resends. Okay, so I have to figure out how to figure out each of these. This might not be an easy weeknight project, a weeknight project. Right, so this is easy. This is easy. Okay, so these two are relatively straightforward. I have to create a class variable to keep track of my last last command sent. The question is, I'm going to need to keep track of whether I think I'm the master or not. That's going to have to be here. Last mesh command ms. All right, so then every time resend logic, when if I do a resend, I do not use, where's the freaking outline? All right, when I, that's right, so when I do a rebroadcast, I use the low-level send command. So send command to mesh only happens when I am genuinely the master. So the logic here would be boolean I am in in control false. Right. If this is called, blah blah blah. Right. Then in arrays is in control equals true. Right. So when I send a command to mesh, this can only happen if I am in control. And then if I receive a rebroadcast, command has no sequence. Right, so this is command has no sequence is a regular button. Why did I write this logic this way? Okay, so anyway, I break out if this is a resend. So that means I can only reach this here. I should do this in mesh tick. Right, so this means that we received something. That means I am not in control anymore. Okay. Well. Okay, this should work. Well, we'll find out. Okay. Send command to mesh. Send command to mesh doesn't update last command ms. What? Oh, because last mesh command ms is when it was last seen. Oh, that's right. There's some peculiar thing here because this is why I set this to an in32 min. Why the hell did I make this a long here and use in32 here? Why did I do this? int32t. Yes, because I use negative for some reason, this logic that I can't remember. Okay. Last mesh command is the last time I saw a command from the mesh. All right, and so then I need another. Let's go int32t last send command ms equals zero. Right. Okay. So, and then every time I send a command to the mesh, we say last sent command ms equals millis. Right. If is in control equals false. No, stupid, true. And millis minus last sent command ms greater than 1000, no. Pound define mesh resend interval ms two and a half seconds. Greater than, how did I just call that? Mesh resend interval. Mesh resend. And then Oh, but how do I know whether to use a sequence or not? Damn it, I need to fix the logic so I always use the sequence. Okay, fine, workaround. Alright, I really need to use a logic so that you always use the sequence. Because everybody gets the sequence number updated anyway, so button presses can totally use sequences, use sequences also. But since I don't want to be up too late tonight, I will just go target, comma, false. Alright, so that'll send a command with a 0. Right, with no sequence, and that should just leave the sequences unchanged and not trigger resend. Alright, let's see if this works. What? Well, because it got... okay, anyway. Turn that guy off. Alright. Plug this guy in, and let's build and upload. Okay, so in theory then, hello, there we go. It's under control. Serial terminal. You should have debugging on. That seems kind of bright. Really? Why? Why is that so bright? Because it's at default brightness. There's another hack in the code that I messed up. Okay. So this seems to be working okay in that command's not getting bounced back to me. But the resend is at the wrong illumination level. which is why it gets brighter. And that is because I encode because of this MA level. Oh, what did I do with this MA level? When the mesh receives a command, switch LED 2 and fade LED 2. We set the MA level here. I see get current target can't be used to send commands because it doesn't take the MA level into account. Right, because this is the target only for the current stick. Assuming that the MA level does not change, because no fades will ever change the MA level. This does not. Right. Right. Okay, so I don't want to send this target. Target is only used to determine whether or not I'm in the fade or not. I do not want to send the target to the mesh. I want to send the last command to the mesh. Right. Right. That means I need to store the last command. I need to store the last command. So we don't declare this here. This is going to be a global. Right, this is a little bit ugly. So we put this here. Wow. Okay, so we stored this here. So this then is a global. Set these here, which means that right, so I still want to get target.ms. If I am in control, and I'm not in a fade up, but I could be at the end of a fade, right? Because I could be at the end of a crossfade, and I would want to send that. So it's not that the last command wasn't a fade. It's that I'm not currently in a fade. Oh, then I have to reverse out the MA level logic. I have to reverse out the MA level logic. That is no good. Alright, I'm not doing this. Okay. This is not accurate because the last command that I got, so that logic doesn't work. I don't want to resend the last command because the last command might have been a fade. And if that last command was a fade, but it's long gone and I'm at the destination color, I do not want to execute the fade again, nor do I want to not resend. The resend logic should be based upon whether I am currently in a fade or not. But I need to send the encoded hue. So I need to re-encode the hue back in. Right. Where do I use this? Find all references. Double-click action. No, but this is the local. I see, because the only other place I do this is local. Right, it's a target color. This is not intended for this purpose. I need a different... I'm going to need another one. Target color, get current CMD color. Right. And then here we go target color, get current CMD color. Right. Target color, target equals get current target. Right. And then we have to encode the target dot h plus equals MA level times 360. What? I don't store the current target. I store the target MA level? It's target dot MA level 360. Right, fade to H. Break it down. All right. Right. Okay. So then this in the resend, you want to use get current CMD. There. CMD color. All right. Yeah, this is a terrible cast. I'm not explaining what I'm doing. Um, just in the distant past, or because of the way the protocol was historically written, I encode the, explain from the very beginning, there are 4 channels per color off of the TLC 59116, right? So that's the LED driver. The LED driver can do something like 34 milliamps per channel, and so I have 4 channels hooked up so that I can drive each color up to 120 milliamps. You're permitted to kind of gang up the channels in order to get more current through, right? This is why I use a 16-channel driver, even though I only need red, green, and blue, because in order to get enough current to utilize the LEDs to their fullest extent, I need to use more than one channel. So I have 4, maybe 5, 4 or 5 channels per color. But in the original encoding, way back when I was using a hardware controlled box, before I was in this, right, I had this protocol set up, and Hue, because Hue had to go to 360, was already set to be a 16-bit rather than an 8-bit, right? Because an 8-bit would have a limit of 256. So because Hue needs to go to 360, I was sending it as a 16-bit number. So I had extra bits there. So I use that extra bit to indicate the level. So like 0 through 359 means that you're at level 0, right? And then from 360 to 719, you're at level 1, right? And then from 719 onwards, basically, it's 360 because the color wheel is a circle. All right, let's switch here. It's 360 because the color wheel is a circle. And so in theory, right, 720 is the same color as 360, which is the same color as 0, right? Because all of those are red on the HSV scale. And by going higher, then I can encode the number of channels. But the number of channels is a little weird. Also, for historical reasons, I didn't want a 0 to be just one channel, right? And or divide 0 additional, right, from 0 to 359, for that to be just one channel. That's the default channel for historical reasons, so that old boxes that I pick up will still be able to command these things, right? Even though now I don't even use the same RF circuitry. For historical reasons, I wanted level 0 to be 3 channels or something. And so it's something like, it's like 3, 1, 2. It goes in reverse direction or something. I can't remember now. So I mean, it's encoded in the code. I can just look. But in any case, what that means, I'm trying to switch screen. Let's use this one here. What that means is that after then in the code, all right, over here in the LED control, right, whenever I pick up a command, I divide it by 300 to see what the MA level is, right? And then I mod it down in order to get the hue, right? So the input to this is this overloaded number that can go from 0 to whatever, 360 times 4, right? That holds both the level and the actual color. And so I mod this down, I divide this out in order to pick out the MA level, and then I mod it down. What's happening is, right, I set the target, got current target, then just simply returns this target.h. I'm an idiot. Target is already... This would actually probably work, but... just so I don't have any mistakes, because target is already a global variable here. Sounds kind of stupid. So let's compile this again. Of course, you can't see anything there, right? And so when I get the current target here, this current target was designed for button presses to basically like restore colors if I'm doing any local operations. And so, of course, the MA level is encoded separately. I don't need the MA level. In fact, I don't want the MA level in this case because I want to do color changes or restore colors after doing a temporary change. Like I think I wrote this originally when I was when I encoded battery check. Double click to check battery, and then I have to go back to the color afterwards where the brightness doesn't matter. But this isn't suitable for resending as a command to the mesh, because this will always then reset the MA level to 0 because MA level was already stripped out. So I have to put the MA level back if I'm going to take this and send it back to the mesh. Otherwise, we get the behavior we see before where the resend is brighter, right? And that's just because my default MA level is a little bit lower right now. And so the resend commands are sent at MA level 0, which is brighter. So let's take a look at this and see if this solves the problem. It's just colorblind me that can't hardly tell the difference between orange and red. All right. Ah, it's still doing it. What? Why? Why? What? All right, why doesn't that work? Target equals get current command color. This is a Hail Mary. I don't believe this is the problem. Why? Get current CMD color. Do I not put this back correctly? Get the current target plus equal target underscore MA level times 360. Target MA level equals target H divided by 360. What data structure is what target MA level? That's an int. It's still doing it. Why? Why is the resend happening at a different MA level? Why is the resend happening at a different MA level? ESP now send command. SV. Why did I erase the debug lines? Alright, let's open the serial monitor, see what's going on here. Alright, why am I reading the ADC like mad? Because I have debug code in main that is reading the ADC like mad. Alright, let's get rid of this. That's going to burn power. Alright, so that's going to retransmit every 2.5 seconds. But what am I retransmitting? Switch LED do called 482.21.28. Okay, so let's... why didn't just retype that? Yeah, so it's not doing this right. Sending 120, 220, 128. Well, but that means then, like, whatever, the logic didn't work? Why didn't the logic work? False. $375, $255, $128. Right, and it's 15, so why? Why is this not adding it back? Target MA level times 160. There should be 1. Wanted 61 MA, right? So it went to 1. And then what? And then what? Why? Because you're an idiot. You're returning the global instead of the thing that you just allocated, you moron. Alright. That was the problem. Alright, let me fix the typo in my... Alright. Upload, upload, upload. Green. Alright. Let's turn this guy on. And... oh, good. It's resending at 480. Good. Good. All right, now let's try... Alright, so fades work. Okay, good. Actually, the watch doesn't have any... fades that All right, let me make sure that this works. So then, let's say we change the brightness, and we go to the resend doesn't suddenly send it super bright. Good. All right. So resending works. Means then when I turn this guy off, right, and then let's do this one, and then turn this guy on. Good. All right. So that took way too long for something so simple. So resends are working, but it's not doing like a real resend. It's doing like a fake button press resend, which isn't messing up the sequence number, but isn't as robust. Next step is I want everything, including button presses. Our button's locked out there, including button presses, to have resend. Right. Actually, I should disconnect the controller. Make sure that, so when it's a slave, they're not being super responsive. Anyway, let's disconnect this from the USB. Right. So even when in button press, now it's in fade mode, right? So it's transitioning via fade to the last one, but this should still be then target them as 0. So this should still generate a resend. I need, just to make sure, I have a cable, this one here. So this cable doesn't supply 5-volt power. Which allows me to use the switch to turn. It probably doesn't matter anymore. Anyway, I want to double check the serial console. All right. Restart task. Okay, so the reset behavior seems to be correct. Okay. Good. I think we're done for tonight. Let me check in these changes. Commit. Added rudimentary master stick. Periodic resend. Okay. Commit. Push. Yay. Okay. Done. Alright. That's it for the night. Thanks for watching.